if I would give an advice for anyone going for the Viva now, the first thing I'll tell you is please have enough sleep before the day of the Viva. Be calm, be confident, and be very honest with your answers on that day. Ideally, the day before my Viva, all I did was I did not even look through my thesis. Whilst preparing for my Viva, I took it calm. Look for the things that make you relax. I prefer listening to cool classical music, so I was listening through that all through that night. I never took my thesis. I never looked through it because obviously these are things you are done over the couple of years, and you research over the couple of years.
Some of the things that helped me that really was finding a good place to sit, a comfortable chair. I also carried with me some water so that I could be taking sips. The examiners also gave me some breaks. For the 6 hours that we were at the examination, we had some breaks for also bathroom breaks and also just to relax and then get back to the examination process. And that really, really helped.
I ensured that I had both my online thesis, that's a copy, the soft copy of my thesis with me on the screen. And I also had the hard copy of my thesis also, because some of the questions were directed specifically to some areas within the thesis. So that I was able to look through and know exactly the area they're talking about, and I could answer the questions as much as I could. So I would advise, if you have your thesis right in front of you, whether printed or online as a soft copy as you would want, it gives you confidence to know the area they're talking about and how to answer their questions.
One of the best ways to prepare for a Viva is just to really get comfortable talking about your research. So talk about it as much as you can to as many different people as you can. So friends and family kind of being the first port of call. They're probably going to be very sick of hearing about your research by the time you have the Viva in the end. And by the time you've had it, they'll probably never want to hear about your research ever again. But I think that's a really useful way just to get comfortable with talking about what you've done, answering questions that they have to a non-specialist audience.
Advise you to participate in activities, opportunities that will make you to present your research during your PhD studies. It might be the 3-minute thesis, sessions that or competitions that are being run in the graduate office, or it might be opportunities to give your thesis to relay your thesis in conferences or even in faculty conferences, because I had that opportunity within the engineering faculty where we had some of those sessions, and during my time I was able to relay or explain certain areas of my thesis, and this really helped in boosting confidence.
At the beginning of the actual Viva, it was quite scary because here I was with people that I hadn't met before, but I had familiarized myself with them and they were quite friendly. But as we went on, in a very short while, I was able to be comfortable and be able to answer questions because they assured me, this is your work. Just when we ask you the questions, it's because we want to understand where you are at.
I will also advise that do not be cocky or proud when you talk or in the manner of approach to the examiners, but ensure that you are confident when you are talking about your research. And because you should remember that you are the expert in that area you've worked on, and you've done that for a series of years. And no one knows that better than you do. So please be very, very confident when you are disseminating your information.
Not every PhD student would have the privilege of discussing potential Viva questions with their supervision team. For this, I recommend the respective research groups and academic departments to organize regular group discussions. Lastly, do have a deep sleep before your Viva.
So they made me comfortable, and I was able to also sit with a friend in the room. I asked a friend who had gone through a Viva examination, and a PhD holder, and I asked her just to sit with me in the examination. This helped quite a bit.
Presenting as much as you can, going to conferences, presenting at workshops, whatever it is, but it will give you that opportunity to not only get used to presenting what the work was, but getting used to those challenges and tough questions as well, because that's, there's no better way to prepare for the Viva itself than, having those really hard questions, knowing the best ways to answer those types of questions. So I'd say, just get out and present as much as you can, talk about the research as much as you can, and that's going to pay dividends in the long run.
In case of very difficult questions, what I would suggest is please provide very constructive arguments where necessary, and make sure that if the examiners then come with those difficult questions, understand whether it is within the scope of your research. If it is within the scope of your research, you'll answer the question as honestly as you can. And if you can't answer that question, I will advise you just tell them that, yes, you will take this question and you will review it in your future research.
Because this was my work, I was able to relax. I was able to explain what I was writing about and what my conclusions were and what the novelty of my work was, because I had spent time with it.
Good luck with your Viva, and I believe and I hope it's successful.